I suppose since now is the perfect time, I'll just have to push on. I murmured to myself, making my way to a chapel. Still, it's annoying when I have a hard task ahead of me to have to face it on an empty stomach. Pass through the entrance hall. And exit the school building. Midday sun is shining down hard, bright on the surrounding greenery. As I'm gazing at the school buildings, also glittering with light, a thought suddenly occurs to me. This reminds me of the whole incident with Yuri Yaegaki. Seems to me like such a long time ago. Hasn't even been a month since Yuri Yaegaki incident. With a sigh, I reflect on how a similar situation now is a occurrence. I recall my bookworm buddy stepping in front of everyone, despite his shyness, in order to clear a friend's name. I smiled at my feline smile of mine again. Now, let's run through it one more time before heading out to the main act. First things first, how do incident begin? I can't reveal the solution of a case before my classmates without defining the primary problem. Rather than long in truth, I'll focus on resolving the issue. Makes it all more necessary to ascertain what really happened. Now, I've actually reloaded this save, because I got a gist about what's happening here, but didn't give me the options I was looking for, so I'm going to try. So what I think happened here is I think that Sister Basket removed the rabbits because they were not well. But it never gave me that option. So I'm actually going to go for... It's definitely not... Well, it could be natural causes, if it, but it doesn't seem that way to me. So I'm going to say it was an accident. Getting nearly is an accident, really. Right, I'm looking for some resolution in this case. An element of human error has to be assumed. Rather, someone made a mistake by unknowingly and given a false report. We've got that person out to settle this once and for all. Who falsely reported Rabbit's disappearance? Again, technically it was the Saki sisters. Basket didn't do it at all. Going over notes in my head, I think I need one more key detail. The pain has to be doled out evenly. I'll have to dilute with deadly poison into this mild irritant. None of those. It's because they're ill. Well, I guess that's it. Once I finish putting it all together in my head, I'll send a glare out to midday sun and set off for a chapel. Final note of Takasaki's rendition of Ave Maria lingers in the air. Thank you very much, Mr. Takasaki-san. Sister Basket says this just as she should believe before. It's like a repeat of that day. The day I made to look after rabbits when Takasaki overheard mention of Mayuri Kosaka. Kept on prying about things until it turned ugly. The difference being... Instead of the applause and wave of looks directed away of change from one's admiration to clear hostility. After performance, the Takasaki steps down from the chancel, returns to us looking up at Sister Basket and starts lecturing. That same haughty gaze. She's just been honest from the start. I smile wryly and where I'm taking my task in mind. What are you smiling about? I'm not smiling, I'm smirking. She frowns in incomprehension. Of course it's a matter of nuance. She's not going to understand. So does anyone have any questions? A few students raise their hands, as do I. Oh, how wonderful. Yes, Miss Yaegaki? She's the epitome of virtue. I'll speak in a clear voice, Miss hand still raised. I've solved a case of missing rabbits. May I explain it here? To my declaration, there's a brief silence. Then, Sister Basket's voice rings out of a chapel, more excited than usual. Silence, please. You're in the presence of God. The whispers have been faint, but they're quelled completely by Sister Basket's decisive command. Have you found them? The President presses me. The reason she's so excited? Shirahane. She probably imagines that her Amitié partner will find something sort of relief in my report. Or the President shuts her mouth at Sister Basket's rebuke. Her eyes remain on me imploringly. Is it okay for me to take the opportunity to explain how it happened, Sister Basket? A rare frown mars her face, and she glanced up at the figure of Christ on the cross. Very well then. She nods. I move my chair into a space between where my classmates are seated and where Sister Basket is standing on stage. I gaze out of the Sasaki twins, my bookworm buddy Erika Yaegaki, Chidori Takasaki, and my new transfer students. And we all were classmates who were looking at me half with animosity and half with curiosity, like I'm some kind of interesting plaything. To start with, there's no clear culprit in this case. That's where I begin. What do you mean by that? Like they were attacked by a wild dog or something? Whereas Sasaki is suggesting causes a wave of muttering, he dies away when I spread my arms in a gesture of rebuttal. After I promised back a pet I'd find the truth, I investigated around the area to see if there was any trace of wild dogs, like Sasaki suggested. I also asked around students and school employees. And you found something? In her presence and interjection, I tell them that we'll first look back on the events of the day. I relay the time frame I heard from the Sasaki sisters. My strange story, hardly fit for a church, echoes through the otherwise silent chapel. So we know the general cause of events. You two took care of them in the morning, and the Sasakis went to see him after lunch. In other words, Rabbits disappeared sometime between 7:30 in the morning and after we finished with them, and 12:30 in the afternoon when the Sasakis arrived. I gave her a light clap as a sign of my gratitude for summing it all up. Her eyes now slightly, perhaps in suspicion that I'm mocking her. So, does that mean whoever visited the pen during the morning of that day is the culprit? Anyone in my class use their break time to go play with rabbits. It's only natural they'd turn their suspicion on one another. However, it seems we can narrow it down a little further. Oh, what do you mean? I figured out after asking around. On the day rabbits disappeared, someone was pruning the plants in the gardens in front of the school building. Oh! No, now that you mention it, there was someone working there. My classmates nod excitingly. During lunch break, everyone tumbles out of the school building and crosses the garden's own way to the rabbit pen. They'll probably have seen a gardener there. In other words, we can find out from the gardener who passed by that day and narrow down the list of suspects. That's amazing. Now it's simple to solve. The president makes it clear excitement as another wave of murmuring rises. Looking at the glum expression on Shirahane's face, I shake my head slightly. It's true we might be able to narrow it down from the people who visited from that day, if everything was as I just said. However, that would depend on the story Sasaki has told me being true. So based on a promise that they weren't lying. Yaegaki-chan? We weren't lying. Knowing the twins clamouring, I declare the reason the baby rabbits disappeared is so simple as being mundane. It's simple. Sister Basket, who hasn't joined in the conversation until now, asked me if this is she sues the Sasakis. Yes, this wasn't deliberate, nor it was caused by a wild dog or anything like that. All it was an accident, a product of human error, not anyone's ill intentions. An accident? Yes. Most of the students have been paying the rabbits regular visits to take care of them, haven't you? Look over the sea of faces, taking a variety of expressions, from meek to suspicious, from those staring down their feet to those staring at me like I've upset them. Being so painfully shy, Shirahane did well to endure this. As I reflect on how often I end up with a minority, Shirahane pops into my head, and I can't help but smile. Yaegaki-san. Fiddling with her braids, a present urged me on impatiently. Well, I say you've been taking care of them too, but since Takasaki and I have been handling most, all you've been doing is bringing their food, dried hay into a pen. That's correct, isn't it? My classmates nod their heads. Right, so as far as I can tell, everyone who bought them dried hay, every single one of them is responsible for smuggling them out. Everyone? By everyone, I mean everyone. It's not strange, no one visited rabbits while the second years were taking care of them. It's only after we started looking after them. And when we saw Takasaki giving the rabbits their hay, everyone thought, oh, that's how you do it. And copied her. I demonstrate with a gesture, my classmates nod. Though some of them aren't nodding, they're probably cotton on to what was left unsaid so far. I slowly look over the assembled faces once more. And while you're giving them dried hay, the baby rabbits are mixed in with it. Time briefly stands still. Everyone's dumbfounded, and after they got over a moment of hesitation. Huh? That doesn't make sense. They argue back, even though they don't know full well what it does. Precisely. Mixed in with it? I mean, the hay we were giving them was just sitting outside the pen, so how? I told you, it's simple. Everyone copied how Takasaki was feeding them. When dried hay gets damp, it becomes difficult to chew. Certain leftover hay was taken back out to dry in the sun. In other words, hay was brought into a pen, whereas any leftover was taken back outside to dry. If it was done over and over again, nobody's got mixed up with it. Yeah. Although they're grown, they're still small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. To dry the hay, you would scrape up a lot over inside a pen. And move it to outside a pen, rabbits and all. Realising the rabbits had gone because of their own negligence, everyone falls silent. Their faces deathly pale. Since Takasaki was the one who originally took out the hay from a pen to dry it. If I was to try and pin the blame, I thought it was partially on Takasaki's. But I also can't bring myself to denounce her, knowing when I'm also involved. So it was an accident and it was all part of human cause? Or would it have happened because the hay was being taken in and out of a pen again? I think we all know who's responsible. You mean we weed out students who visited a pen during the morning that day? We could just go by the gardener's testimony. Right, that's right. Her relation quickly tapers off. Because, long story short, she's realised that her suggestion amounts to pointing out exactly who amongst us is responsible. She looks awkwardly at Sister Basquiat, standing there calm and composed. Latter regards me with topaz eyes. Forcing a smile, I try to ease attention. Well, that's where we have to turn to Sasaki's story. Just as I explained, the premise of the accident occurred during the morning is wrong. But maybe this is where we're supposed to read between those lines. We're telling you we're not lying. I nod. The twins look at me in innocent confusion, having perceived a rather different response than the one we were expecting. Then, with a thrust of my chin, I indicate my Amitié partner. Despite being named as a prime suspect, she's acting like this has nothing to do with her. Because she was the one who didn't tell the truth. Chidori Takasaki. That's... Oh, you mean... Going by what you just said, you're implying that she purposely mixed him with a hay just because taking care of him was such a bother? That's horrible. Takasaki staring hard at a point off the side of me, neither confirming nor denying it. Hearing the hubbub start to grow, I remind everyone I already said it was an accident. She, Takasaki, wasn't aware she was lying. She was under the impression she was telling the truth. I'm sorry, could you explain it in such a way that we could all understand it? The lie was a baby rabbit disappearing during the resumed time frame between 7:30 and 12:30. Rabbits didn't actually disappear during that period. We went missing much earlier. Everyone, including the president of the Sasaki twins, turns to Takasaki, whose eyes have the same haughty look as ever. What I mean is, their testimony is the bunnies were in the morning was a lie. We're already gone by that point. That's right. They were there. Takasaki glares at me and let out a small sigh. No. You mean it looked like you were there? It looks like they were there. Facing Sister Basket up on stage, I announced to no one in particular what I myself only realised. Chidori Takasaki has pretty bad eyesight. Perhaps she'd been expecting some kind of grave confession, because her presence suddenly seemed to deflate. You guys have noticed too, right? The weird look in her eyes, the way she's always glaring at everything. Well, I suppose. At the present's words, everyone starts looking at one another and nodding as though they've been thinking the same thing all along. That constantly haughty gaze. Although I thought it was it too. She seems pretty unapproachable. Takasaki, how many fingers am I holding up? Hold it up my hand and raise my fingers. Takasaki glares, no squints at them. 4. She says to her 3 fingers I'm holding up. And there you have it. I don't know if it's astigmatation or farsightedness. What we do know is we can't trust it when she says they're all there. Feeling her eyes on me. No, that's not fair. I now indicate just a desire for the truth. I wheel away from the platform back towards everyone. Her eyesight, she was squinting? And so she made a mistake? She didn't think she was lying. She really thought she saw them. After my little monologue, a long silence descends into a chapel after a while. So it's no longer true rabbits are there in the morning? Then we have no way of finding out who's directly culpable. That's... Isn't it better this way? You understand, don't you, Prez? Catching my meaning, she nods despite looking like she's just bitten a lemon. We're better off not knowing who created the conditions that led to rabbits going missing. Even if it was an accident, who could bear the guilt of being solely responsible for the possibility of their deaths? That's why it's better to dilute the guilt by making it everyone's fault. Having sensed my intentions, the President and Sister Basket nod, their eyes downturned. Another short, deep sigh, relieved that its troublesome business is finally over, but then... I wonder if they're dead. A whisper echoes from a quiet chapel. Ichigo-san. Words spoken out of guilt. They pierce the heart of every person there. They're tiny infant creatures, logically speaking. You're a worrywart. Huh? Have you never watched a nature documentary? Since herbivores are so vulnerable to predators, they can fend for themselves almost as soon as they're born. And if they couldn't, they'd never survive in the wild, understand? Is that true? It sure is. I know, because I was looking after them. Takasaki was constantly referencing the care manual, and so, being an avid reader, I gave it a good look too. I see, then. Yeah, they've weaned her in 10 days of birth. There's lots of grass on her pen, isn't there? It's summertime, so they won't be wanting food. In fact, they might be enjoying themselves more than if they were cooped up in the pen. Thank goodness. The moment someone raised their voice, a heavy mood is dispelled like cloud breaking. The Sasaki sisters look at one another in relief, whilst the President clasps their hands together and mutters a prayer. Sister Basket also seems to be offering up a prayer, her eyes shut. Shirahane. I've been thinking around my bookworm buddy must have been deeply upset by the baby rabbit's disappearance. Thank you. A fate, but I hear the words clearly. Feeling my face flush for some reason, I changed direction of my wheelchair. And my eyes meet those of my Amitié partner who's gazing at me in silence. Don't say anything. Generally able to pick up on social cues at my words, she averts her gaze and looks up at my martyrdom across. In the words of Russian playwright Anton Chekhov, if you say the first chapter, there's a rifle hanging on the wall. The second or third chapter, it absolutely must go off. I'll leave that Chekhov's gun waiting until the next episode. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.